Unfortunately, contemporary Russia does not compare in realist terms to the power resources of the United States or China. Nonetheless, Russia has developed an outsized ability to exercise considerable influence abroad. I argue that under Vladimir Putin's long rule, Russia has developed and deployed both traditional and novel means of influence abroad and on a variety of dimensions. Putin's Russia demonstrates that a state does not have to be a great power that is at parity in all realms with the United States, Europe, or China, but it can be good enough to dramatically alter the balance of power in a new global order. How and why has this happened? Is contemporary Russia strong or weak? What does Russia's evident resurrection as a global power tell us about the actual determinants of state power in the international politics of the 21st century? These are the questions at the foundation of this book. I offer two major corrections to the ways in which analysts and policymakers understand Russia's role in the world today. First, I present a multidimensional understanding of Russian power resources that goes beyond the traditional means of power, things that can be counted like comparative population and military size, and the amount of money in the economy of a country. Second, I link the willingness and ability of the contemporary Russian leadership to use its power resources abroad to the nature of the domestic political regime that has evolved under Vladimir Putin's rule. In important ways, Russia is distinct from the former Soviet Union and from other globally powerful states today. Under Putin's leadership, Russia has reestablished itself on the global stage as a great disruptor rather than as a traditional great power, with a much higher tolerance for risk than its international competitors or its Soviet predecessor. Under Putin's leadership, contemporary Russia has proved willing to assert itself against its regional neighbors, but has also moved far outside of its traditional sphere of geographic influence abroad, while on paper lacking many of the traditional means of power of its competitors, particularly the United States and China. In a metaphor that aptly characterizes how Putin's Russia has managed to resurrect itself in international power projection, David Baldwin emphasizes the importance of understanding the game being played, rather than just judging a player's ability to win based on the face value of the cards she holds. Discussions of the capabilities of states that fail to designate or imply a framework of assumptions about who is trying or might try to get whom to do what are comparable to discussions of what constitutes a good hand in cards without specifying which game is to be played. A good hand at bridge is a bad one at poker. Perhaps, then, a misunderstanding of Russia's purposes and motivations abroad, the game Russian policymakers are playing, has led to an underestimation of its ability to project power and the resources it has amassed to do so. Policymakers in the West have declared, in public and in private, that Russia is not an equal as a global power, so there is no need to bow to its complaints about containment or the expansion of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. Undoubtedly, it is partly in response to this belittling perspective from rivals that Russia under Vladimir Putin has sought to reassert itself as deserving of global respect. History demonstrates that Russia also has undeniable geostrategic interests in its immediate neighborhood that any Russian leader might want to protect. It is important to consider, however, whether a Russian president other than Vladimir Putin would have made the same foreign policy choices. That is Putin pursuing Russia's global strategy as any leader of a fallen great power would do? Or is he more narrowly pursuing the interests of his own increasingly autocratic regime? In what follows, I argue that grand strategy under Putin has been a choice and not the natural destiny of Russia's role in international politics as antagonist to the West. Russia has not been historically, nor is it inevitably, an enemy of Europe or the United States. Rather, the new global rivalry is a strategic choice for Putin's regime to make Russia great again. Most